and synthesizer player for Depeche Mode. So he wrote almost the entirety of Speak and Spell. And then he decided that the band was not big enough for him and Martin Gore because Martin Gore was chomping at the bit to write some stuff. And so he's like, okay, you write stuff. Bye. And he left and he started Yazoo, which lasted 2 albums, but 2 magnificent synth pop albums. And then eventually he met Andy Bell and they formed Erasure. And that's kind of been his main gig ever since.
Nice.
Funny story behind that, though. I was about a month and a half ago, I was just like on Spotify or something, and something I saw, I pulled up Yazoo, which is the British name for the band, because they couldn't be called Yazoo in the United States because another band exists. Anyway, and I saw that there's this band playing at Ole Miss at the Lyric, and that Yazoo's opening for them tomorrow. And I was like, oh my goodness, I really want to go. Is that really them? Because it made no sense that they would be playing such a small venue
Right.
just one night. I mean, Alison Moyet's tour is starting up soon, and she's going to be playing in Nashville in April. But like, oh, I convinced Vince Clarke to go down to Ole Miss to play a set as an opening band. Like, no way. So anyway, it turns out it was no way because Yazoo is the name of the house band at the Lyric.
Turns out, way.
Yeah, so it saved me a 6-hour or 3-hour drive tomorrow. So
Nice.
yeah. Anyway.
Alrighty, well, for those who didn't tune in for your hard-hitting music news, I am Commander Larkshadow, and I am joined tonight by Commander Blooming Wind.
Hello.
Commander Oblivious.
Wait, this isn't an HOA meeting?
Yes, it is, and you owe me $50. And Commander Chig with a special appearance by the ranter himself.
Good Lord, I don't know what I popped into there, but all right. If that's a sign how tonight's going to go, I'm excited.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways. And this is the Loose Screws podcast. What the frick am I doing? How do I even podcast?
I don't know. You have to go around the round table and ask us how our
That's right. Thank you.
Wait, but what number is this?
Oh, sorry. No, we haven't even gotten that far. I hope you hadn't played the music yet. This is the 277th podcast for the 27th of March, 2025.
3311.
And this is the Loose Screws podcast.
Huh.
We'll go with the second take. We'll do that in post.
There is no post.
There's no post.
I have a post.
Next, you're going to say there's notes.
I'll post you.
Notes? What notes?
Anyways, for the goings on in our lives, let's go first to Commander Oblivious.
Well, around here, everything is yellow and chartreuse. Because all the pine trees are pollinating, and it just covers everything. And now, the pine pollen isn't bad. It doesn't cause allergies, but it's a flag that says that all the other trees and grasses is starting to bloom too. So there are some folks having some allergy problems, but it's really interesting. You take your car and park it someplace for an hour, like I did this morning, and you get back in it and you drive off, and there's dust flying off of it. It's coming down so fast and furious. So
holy crap!
Yeah. And let's see. In game, I'll hold that until we talk about quad stuff. So, how about Mr. 1.5? What are you doing, Mr. Bloomingwind?
What am I doing? Well, I'm back. I had surgery a week ago Tuesday. That was fun. So yeah, I'd had half my a chunk of my right kidney cut off, and they got all the cancer. So that's been fun. So I've been convalescing at home ever since. But of course, work calls at least once a day for some reason or another. I actually got a phone call and a couple of pages while I was convalescing in the hospital the first night. I was like, I'm in the hospital, right? They're like, we don't care. I'm like, okay. So
the phone works.
Yeah, the phone does work. So yeah, no, but I'm doing much, much, much better. Yeah, like I was pretty sore last week, and then I feel mostly normal at this point. So, and they got all of it apparently, so that's pretty good.
That's good.
That is fantastic news.
Yeah, Although my mother-in-law is convinced I don't have kidney cancer. So that was a fun conversation today. So
oh no.
it's like, is it really cancer? If they were able to get all of it?
Where is the incision for a kidney?
Okay, so the incisions for the kidney are kind of on the side. So the way they did mine was called a partial nephrectomy. And so they do a laparoscopic robotic approach. So I have 6 incisions on the right side of my tummy, right side of my belly. And so 4 of them are evenly spaced at about a centimeter in size. And those were the places where they put the ports in for the cameras and the robotic tools. And then they had 2 more, one for a bigger instrument, and then one is actually the incision they make to take the piece of kidney out. Because the whole thing is when you have cancer surgery, you don't want to chop up anything inside the patient because that can lead to metastasis. So what you do is you cut a wide margin, and then you put the little kidney piece into a bag, and then you seal the bag, and then you pull the bag out through the incision. So, so I have 6 scars on the right side of my abdomen.
Yeesh.
I could post pictures if you guys would like
I'm good. I'm good without it.
Okay.
I'm just saying, throwing it out there.
I did post the path post-op day 1, so you know.
Yeah.
And interestingly,
Oh,
March is kidney cancer awareness month.
are you freaking
And
serious?
I'm really freaking serious.
Oh my gosh.
You know, you'd think March would be liver cancer awareness month because St. Patty's Day falls in March.
Well, your kidneys have to work hard too. So, just saying. Oh shoot, dog.
Bang.
All right.
Well,
And
boom.
moving right along then, let's move on to the special guest, apparently himself, who his station is now named after, Chig.
What? That's special in air quotes, apparently.
Yes, it is very much in air
I
quotes.
really have to follow, Cancer Survivor. I mean, that's like huge news. The guy, has a big old tumor, posts pictures of it for us. That was nice of him to do that for us. But I mean, dude, that's like the biggest news, around. Good job, at F cancer.
100%. I don't like swearing. Fuck cancer.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. So yeah, good job on that. That is outstanding, and we were all pulling for you, and we're happy you survived.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I survived too.
Yeah. You get our sympathy one time. You get cancer again, you're on your own.
No problem.
What's funny is you're the only person in the Discord that I've met in person, right?
Yes.
And within what, a month of meeting me, you got cancer. So I'm feeling kind of bad about that.
Did you put polonium in my cocktail?
Maybe. I don't know. I tried roofing you and you didn't go down. I was like shocked. So
yeah.
No, guys, we won't know if it's Chig until it happens to another person. We need a control group.
Yes.
Oh boy. So okay, well yeah, no, I figured I'd come on. I haven't been on the show in a while. I don't know. I love this game so much, and I just a lot of things about it have been bothering me, so I didn't want to just come on every week and just be the downer and complaining about stuff. So I've kind of just played. I've been playing more than I've ever played. Like everybody remembers, I set that goal to Pokemon the elite ratings. So I completed that a couple months ago, where I've got one of every elite. Elite 0 through elite 5, or is it elite 1 through elite 6? I don't know what the rules are, but I have one of each elite you can get. And now I'm pushing to get all the elites up to 5, so I can be elite triple X, because it would be, there's 6 times 5 if I get the 5 main game ones. There's 6 different elites. that would be 30, and then the elite in CQC would make it 31, but the way that they count their elites, it would actually be 30. So it'd be elite XXX is what I'm going for now, is my random goal, like do this stupid stuff.
Big, that's way too much math for a video game.
Elite XXX sounds so cool.
I know, so that's what I'm going for. And then in game though, I've been playing. I've been out. Distant Screws went out, so I went. Hey, I'll go out on an expedition with you guys, and then I just went all over the galaxy. I've been to Beagle Point again. I'm all over the place, and I'm just out there enjoying the game that way. And then otherwise, I've been playing CQC with the guys over at what is that? Ashling's Angels, Nevin and Fruiticious and the boys. We've been getting some good games in with that. I know they listen to the show. He didn't show up last week. We started like an hour later, and I think he probably came on at the time that we'd normally be on, and nobody was there for him to kill, so he got bored and went away. So then we actually got 3, 4, 5 games in, I think, of just some team deathmatch, and it was a good time. We had some really, really good matches. So yeah, that's my story. In real life, well, it's just real life. All right. Who's next? Oh, Lark, your turn. Our resident ADHD guy.
Yeah, you're our resident virtual farmer lately. I am still selling those damn carrots. I've done 4 trips and made $65,000 in game on that, and I still have a whole lot to go. So it's been very much worth it so far for my little starter farm. But at any rate, I have actually been pretty good. Work's been slowing down a little bit, which is great, and it's just been life lately, a whole lot of life, and I really don't like it when there's a whole lot of life, because I'd rather be playing this video game or any video game. I'm actually back in game tonight for the first time in a while. And I am on my way to Ross 310 because the people at the cheese fridge need coffee, and I know just where to get it.
Nice. So, I heard they finally changed the name. They got that fixed in game.
Did they?
They did get that fixed. I don't know when it changed, but sometime between last Tuesday, which was the last time I was in, and now is when it changed.
Well, I took a look last night on Anara, and it was still the name of the...
Really? That means it changed today, then.
Yeah, the original name was after somebody who played some obscure instrument. I Googled it because I'm always curious why they come up with their names, and it was like the premier... I don't remember what instrument it was, the lyre or something like that. And so it was interesting, and I'm like, oh, I kind of like that name, but Cheese Fridge is far superior.
I was gonna say I have an ocarina in one of my instrument cases a few feet away. I can grab it. I'm just saying.
Was it Ravi Shankar
we'll leave that laying by the foldos of Bloom Surgery. We can move on.
Yeah, fair enough. Alrighty, and I don't have the freaking soundboard open. Go me. I am so damn prepared.
That's awesome.
Hey, Chick, what else have you been doing in game besides CQC, or what funny things have happened in CQC?
You're still in the black, right?
Yeah, I'm 55. Well, let's take a look. I'm in game right now. I'm only 51,000 away from the bubble at the moment. I was in Beagle Point just 2 days ago, so I've really been moving quickly through the galaxy. I've learned how to explore very efficiently, and so that's the biggest thing I've been doing is just out in the black, hopping on, talking to Roy's stories on our Discord. If you guys want a cool, would we call it a fan fiction? I'm not even sure. I guess that's what it would be. It's outstanding what he's put together. Yeah, he's put together a hell of a thing. So I've been actually in Discord chat a little bit more lately, BSing with Roy, and Bork was on last night, and I don't know, last week. Edward Skeel and Professor Awan's been on a lot, and
I've seen you late night guys on a lot, and that just warms my freaking heart because my gosh, I wanted everyone to have fun on this expedition, and I'm so happy y'all are.
Yeah, no, and I've been on a
outstanding.
few times with those guys. I mean, I haven't been on since I had surgery, but
Right,
I've been
right.
on with them a few times in the run up to it, and it's one of those things where, for our audience, I mean, if you're in our Discord, you're welcome to join in, and you don't have to feel like even you have to even talk. I mean, there's like a lot of times where there's just enjoyable silence on top of, just occasional conversation because we're all like at different spots in the galaxy right at the moment doing different things in game. It's not like AX combat where it's like clear comms, sub targeting the heart and all that kind of thing. It's I'm looking at you, Matt Can. Yeah, I'm looking at you. But no, it's just like buddies hanging out, and so sometimes you're talking, and sometimes you're not talking, and you're just doing your thing.
Clear
But
comms,
everyone,
engaging FSD.
yep,
Yeah, like you don't even have to be doing the same thing. I was in there one
right,
night and I was back in the bubble and trying to get all my bull crap that was scattered all over the place from before the trip all back to my carrier, just hanging out and talking.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
because
good stuff.
we're all at different spots in the galaxy when we were the last time I was on, so it was all good.
All right. And speaking of things that aren't all good, let's move into a squadron briefing.
God,
Incoming priority message.
Squadron briefing.
since you're in
Well,
screw space, why don't you take the baton, Oblivious?
I'm gonna kick it off with one interesting little bit, and then you can wrap it up. Um, so this is a continuation of discovering different ways that I think both PowerPlay and Trailblazers beta have affected BGS, which kind of makes sense since we've always it's always been said everything you do affects the BGS. But I mean, this has really gotten crazy now. I'm renaming the BGS. It now stands for Best Guess Suckers because if what used to work might work or doesn't work or work every other Tuesday. Um, Here's the latest. Got a little system out there called Miola. And right now, it has an election that's been stuck on day 6 of the 7-day count, stuck on day 6 for 4 days. So
Are you
I'm
freaking serious?
Yeah,
assuming they have hired Arizona election officials to do the ballot counting.
The
It just
ride goes
won't end.
on forever.
Yes, that's right. And meanwhile, while that's going on, it's stuck in the election. And it's still doing election mechanics. You do see missions that are generated for an election. So it's stuck. It's still generating missions, whatever. Now going on day 5 of 6 of 7. There's
and
also an indication.
that election started March 9th, according to NRA.
I know it's annoying, but I find this so freaking funny, and I'm
Okay, well,
sorry.
it
Really?
gets a little better because meanwhile, there's a war that has started between two other factions. In this case, between Loose Screws and the sub faction, the Blood Brothers. But the only way that you know a war has started is you have to be in system and taking a look and seeing that it has created CZs for this war. If you look in the left-hand panel um, under system status, it doesn't show anything about a war going on. If you go into in-system news, there's nothing about a war going on. So I don't have any idea how it's being calculated or tabulated or what's going on, but there's a war that nobody's talking about. That's pretty interesting. So what's also interesting about that is this is in where I've heard about people's various conflicts being stuck. It's not consistent because we've got other systems that are in various stages of conflict that it's counting just like it should and coming out of it. When I was just before the show, I was looking at this again, that system again, and I noticed it has a single colonization ship that's marked inactive. And if you fly up to that colonization ship, you can't land on it. You can't hail it to land on it.
Did
So
FDev forget to pay the update fee on their mega ship?
So is this
Some son of
tied
a bitch try to
into
colonize it?
the half up? Yeah, somebody's trying to colonize it. Yep. But they're not getting anywhere because it's inactive. So is this tied into the the last tick? They got halfway through getting everything synced up. So I'm putting a question out there. Anybody, all three of our listeners out there, anybody else doing BGS? Do you have a system that's stuck in a conflict? Go look in it for me and see if it's got a colonization
Any
ship
of our friends, allies,
inactive in
or
it
even
too.
enemies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let us know in the discords or feedback on the YouTubes if you see anything like that.
And there's an
No, wait a minute.
additional wrinkle. There's an additional wrinkle in Miola. Two wrinkles. One is that you have us and the Alliance Democratic Network both in civil unrest with an infrastructure failure. And we should be dropping influence. And
And it's
even if you're
not.
in a conflict like the election for ADN, they should be dropping influence, and neither faction is. And
Well,
that is really weird. And
now that
we're
it's in war, it won't. But before it went into war, yeah, it should have been dropping a point a day, right?
no. During a war, I've seen systems drop influence in war and elections. If they have a
Okay.
negative state, so you'll see like the influence gets locked, and then if a lot ADN is in infrastructure failure, it should be dropping like 1% per day or whatever the drop is, even though it's locked. So it should go day one, it would be 27, and then 26, and then 25, even though quote unquote the influence is locked. You can't move it any other way but a negative state.
Okay.
And it's something that happens, and it's not happening. And then we're behaving, and Blood Brothers are behaving like the war is over. Like we pushed ourselves up to 35, and they're at 7.6%. And I've also retreats haven't been triggered as well. We have a couple factions
Yeah, that's
systems
true.
that we're in where we're like what our friends are trying to retreat us out of a system, and it's not triggering retreat for them. And then we have two other systems where I was expecting us to have retreats triggered, and they haven't happened yet. So really weird.
But you're saying the game is not acting the way it should, or something's
It's
Yes.
not
changed?
acting the way it did a month ago.
So like they might have added a feature to the game that messed with things, or something.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, something like that. Call it a bait.
Never happens. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, maybe if you have a station that all you can get is poop from, if you get all that poop out of the system, just throwing theories out there. I mean,
Yeah,
it
well,
is
that's
a
what's
shit
literally
show.
clogging up the servers. Is there's just too many Excel spreadsheets full of literal bio waste numbers, and it just
Yeah,
can't process it all.
with all that bio waste out there, we need to take a page out of the fuel rats and just create waste management systems. If your
Oh my gosh.
if your system's overrun, give us a call. We'll come haul bio waste for
Right.
you.
Interstellar plumbing network. I love it.
Good
It's so
God.
good.
So all that bio waste is helpful for PowerPlay.
Poopy power play. We'll go alliteration just for Adaxius because he's not here.
Oh man, that's really what happens when you throw all the shit in the fire, isn't it?
Yeah, the galaxy's really going down the shitter.
Oh, we could do this all day.
We
So
really
if you
could.
guys have any questions about BGS, we've got a BGS Discord out there. Come out there and ask us questions. And right now we'll
Wait a
tell you,
minute.
hell if we know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, you can come and ask questions. Whether anybody can answer them is the real question these days.
Yeah, we
That's
know
it.
the answer. Whether the answer works or not is what's up for debate. So,
Yeah.
oh shoot, dog. All right, Blooms, do you got anything for BGS?
Only that we've given up on worrying about overheating systems.
Oh my God,
And I
we got
think we're
so
even
many.
expanding to colonize systems now. I think that's something that's a
Oh, sweet.
feature. Yeah, so there's like more pop-off valves. So I don't think we've landed in Calarum like we thought we were going to. I think we
Hoop off
landed somewhere
valves?
else.
And if it
What?
helps, so far, any BGS work I've done in colonized systems, like for example, where the cheese fridge is, the BGS there is working exactly as intended. So maybe this is a roundabout way to burn the bubble. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. So last week I said we were around 150 something present in 150 something systems,
Yeah.
and now we're in 167.
Nice.
How many bookmarks do you get in game?
Oh, I haven't. I stopped bookmarking those a long time ago. I had it when we were around 60.
Yeah.
I would do that, but no, I'm not booking. I don't know. Is there a maximum number of bookmarks you can have?
Yeah.
Is there a
like,
limit?
I thought there was a limit of like 150 or 200 or something, but
Oh, sad.
No,
maybe
that
not.
was that was modules for your ship.
Oh.
I'm just
I thought it was also bookmarks. but-
no, I'm sure it was. I'm just being snarky.
Yeah.
They just random limits. I don't know if anybody actually knows.
Oh, shoot.
That's the way
All
they
right.
do things.
Well, moving right along, let's go into the PP report.
This is the short PP report.
Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
It's average, so get your facts straight.
I'm such a child. That's always funny.
Oh yes.
So we are in PowerPlay Cycle 22. There are no large conflicts this week because everybody's out there trying to make their own castle in space. But a couple conflicts of note have taken place recently. In the Tofana system, Archer and Antal were battling it out, and Archer came away victorious with 160,000 points. I forget what they're called. PowerPlay points? PP points. Yeah, that's right, PP points. And then in the Ngurui system, the Empire continues to prove that the only thing they hate more than other people is themselves, in which Lavigny-Duval and Lee... Oh, actually, it was against Yong-Rui. Huh, I thought that was against Ashleen. Anyways, Empire still hates themselves. But in the Ngurui system, Arissa came away with the victory against Yong-Rui with 161,000 points to Yong-Rui's 172,000. Yes. Yeah, no, just 172 points. Like, a dude was just stopping there. It was an accident, really. Most other systems are being acquired without any contest this week, which Boromir calls the Trailblazer effect. And right now we are still reinforcing Ross 310 and Tamor with the objective to get Yong-Rui into Wolf 10. So if you need to go in an Undermine, do it in Ruchbah. There is a planned PP night coming soon to a system near you because some of us are getting back to the bubble and the others are in Colonia or lost in space. We aren't really sure. They haven't been sending back reports anymore. We don't know what's happening. And that is your short PP report.
What exactly does a PP night entail?
Don't ask.
Asking for a friend.
Do not
A lot
ask.
of measuring.
Good
Well,
God.
you see, Chig.
You need a webcam for this event?
No, you don't need a webcam.
No,
Jesus.
you're both fired.
You, however, need a rubber hose and a 50-gallon drum of lube that you can get off of Amazon.
I don't
So,
know. I'm right in it.
P. Diddy has a deal.
So
Yeah.
moving right along, because I do not want to dwell on that, we have a colonization update, and the colonization update is everybody is colonizing, basically.
Are we going to be doing a colonization update? Is that part of the show now, too? Do we have a sounder yet?
We don't have a sounder for that yet, no.
Oh.
But
Okay.
Audaxius, when you listen to this, I'm putting you in charge of making a colonization sounder, even though you're all about power play instead. So that's on you, buddy. All the
That
pressure.
center should be just somebody screaming, "It's a beta," and leave it at that.
Can't he
No,
sound like
Yeah,
a British
if you want to
colonist?
scream that and send the sound file to me, Audaxius, I can make it sound like you're screaming into the void.
Only
then
thing that
plug that
Adaxius
right
is
in.
only thing that Adexis is mad about is the fact that this interferes with PP time, because that's
Yeah,
all that he cares about in this
100%.
game. And I haven't been on the show since colonization started. It's interesting. I'm glad that they put it in here. It is exactly what I thought it was going to be, just a trucking game loop, which is fine and dandy. I'm glad that there's some mechanics on how you build systems. At least they went that route. But I do want to just Lave Radio. I've been listening to Lave and this show every week, and
I like Lave. They're
Lave,
fun.
yeah, they are. But I mean, they were really laying into people who were requesting a way to move cargo rather than having to truck it themselves. Wanting somebody else. Maybe we can hire NPCs or something, and
As they should. That's not what this game is. I
well,
completely agree with them.
I'm glad you agree with them, because for me, I disagree. Blazing your own trail, all of that. But honestly, think about trucking cargo for a minute. Getting the cargo into your ship is done by imaginary NPCs. If you have a docking computer, and I hate you if you do, but I'm not, that elitist where I would blow somebody up for it. But if you have a
Me
docking
sitting here
computer,
using a docking
you don't have to
computer.
you don't have to take off or land your ship. In Super Cruise, you don't have to disengage your ship. So literally all you're doing running cargo, and no offense towards cargo running people, because it is a great thing that you can watch Netflix while you're doing, because it takes very little of your attention to do. But
Or
the
podcast.
only thing you're doing is, uh, pointing your ship a couple times. You're not even hitting the button a whole lot. So, NPCs already do most of the work for you in it.
Mhm.
So if there was a way, if you really wanted a credit sink for, these billionaires in the system, is having an ability for them to hire NPCs, have the cost crazy high, but give people that opportunity to do it that way. They'd still have to, choose the cargo they're doing and spend their credits and stuff. But I don't think it's an entirely silly idea if people wanting to just take one tiny part of hauling cargo out of it and
Yeah, I mean, they can
have
ship your
NPCs
No,
ship.
do it.
that's fair. That's fair. I can
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
Exactly.
it's
Yeah, you can ship your ship. You can ship modules. You can ship everything in here. You're talking tons and tons and tons of cargo. Why
Like, you
not?
can ship 24,000 units of the steel you need, but it's going to cost you like several tens of billions of credits maybe to do it. Maybe
Sold.
not
I'm in.
billions, but
But I
yeah.
mean, then again, you can't, have NPCs take tritium from your hold and put it in your fuel tank. So I guess, it makes sense that
Well, the
you can't
NPCs don't want to
haul
get
anything else.
cancer from the radioactivity. That's why they
Oh
make us
my
do it.
god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But that, that I just that's one point I had, because when I was, from the moment they announced colonization, I said in the Discord, somebody, anybody got a short version of what colonization is? I said, yeah, new game loop for space truckers. And that's all I had to say
That
about
was
it.
what it was. Yeah.
That is what it is. And
And
it
you
was
know what?
definitely
When I'm in
not
the
a
mood
game
for
loop I was
hauling,
gonna do.
not bad.
I mean, another
Yeah.
thing that would be nice is a bigger ship. I mean, I know we keep
Yes.
talking about Panther Clipper, Panther Clipper, Panther Clipper, but
You just
Panther
made it
Clipper.
take 3 more years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how game breaking logistically a 2,000-ton cargo ship would be that you could fit on a large pad. I don't, I mean, all the rumors are like, little ship coming off of big ship and blah blah blah, which would be even a more game breaking, change. But and I mean, extra
Well,
large pads. I
Well, you've
mean,
already got that with Fleet Carrier, though, right?
yeah,
well, I've said this. I was like, how we have, some of the jump ranges, like on the Mandalay and stuff, these higher jump
Yeah.
ranges. And we've got a carrier that can jump, 500. If they came out with one of the new ships this year, was, as you said, whether it's the Panther Clipper or whatever it might be, if
yeah,
it was a large ship that was just exclusively, just this crazy cargo hauler, flies like shit, and we're going to talk about the Corsair a little bit later, I'm sure.
Mhm.
We'll
Oh, yeah.
get into that. But they call that a multi-role ship. That's a goddamn combat ship. I don't care what you say. But you go a ship that's literally just a cargo hauler. You don't even need hard points on it, as far as I'm concerned. If you want to make it maximum cargo capacity, but say you have it at 2,000. But then add on to it has some crazy jump range, not carrier jump range, but it uses like a tritium normal FSD type of fuel or something. So, they've already introduced SCO drives. Why not another drive that can jump farther? But in regular space, obviously, you're slow, you're easy to blow up, not easy, but, it'll take a while. But you're kind of a target where if you're going to use a ship like that, having an escort might help. Just add some gameplay stuff. But I would love to see, a cargo ship that could jump a little bit farther, not the size of a carrier, 15-minute jumps or something, but, something along those lines, I've thought would be cool for another ship.
Nice.
Random thoughts.
No, I like it. In
Well,
my opinion, if
well,
they
they're
did
found.
bring in like a Panther Clipper, like something that's just like a flying rectangle with wiggly engines on the side, but you can put an entire space station inside or whatever. If they did come out with a ship like that, sure, fine, whatever. Let them do that. Have it have a worse jump range than the frickin' Federal dropship. Because holy crap, that's a lot of mass to move around,
Yeah.
even with like a size 8 FSD. That's just ridiculous. Give it the worst jump range ever. Make it so you're dependent on using it as a shuttle to get stuff to and from your carrier. But sure, give it to us. Why not? That's what I think.
It'd be interesting, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another way to kind of solve some of the game loop because the most you can haul is like what, 794 tons in a
Yeah.
shieldless cutter. So I mean, get something that could, triple that would be, save you a little bit of time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Bloom,
And it's an actual tool for the job. It's a very specific, they say it's a cargo ship. It's a genuine cargo ship.
Like I said, a flying rectangle. Even more than a T7.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
I
Bloom,
hope.
do I understand your position is it's not okay, don't allow for NPCs to do deliveries, but give us a ship that allows you to do more with less, the less being fewer trips
I'm
to
agnostic.
deliver.
I'm
Yeah.
agnostic. I mean, I'm fine with either. I mean, I would not mind some sort of NPC shipping service. I think it should be pricey. Because we all have like stupid amounts of credits that we're not spending. Like we don't have anything to spend it on. I mean, I think I could, put all of it on my fleet carrier, and I'll be no longer on this planet before my fleet carrier is, unless they turn off the servers. So I mean, we all got credits to burn. So I mean, an NPC is fine. I think a bigger ship is fine. I think both is fine. But there's a point where
that
go ahead.
statement about the credits, we've got a ton of credits. That's coming from us players who've played the game for, a long
Forever.
freaking time and stuff.
Yeah.
And people might come in with the argument, I can hear it now. Well, that's unfair to new players. They don't have those kind of credits. Well, then they're hauling it. It has it open to all players,
Yeah, but also, I mean,
Oh.
there
And with
historically,
Vanguards coming, you can literally pay those new players to haul stuff and pay
yes,
them well.
Well,
which is
you
probably
could
a
pay
nice
them now
workaround.
to haul. You can pay them now to haul it to your carrier, right? But the buy
Ish.
orders out there are well above market.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah. I mean, so I mean, if Vanguards is the solution and the poor players are the NPCs, I mean, that's fine too. I
Yep.
mean, that works just as well. I mean, it's a market economy. And that might be one of the reasons for Vanguard is like a lot of this hauling could be tedious, but if if there's some people that need some credits. But the other thing is there's always one or two community goals per year where there are stupid credits to be gained,
Right.
like a 1 or 2 billion credit prize. I mean, it seems like it's been about once a year that they do that, and that's an opportunity from some quick credits.
True.
AX Combat is a great way to make some credits. And all you have to do is, do scout support for some people who know what they're doing and tag the interceptors, and you can make a lot of money, and
Well,
then eventually get the hang of actually doing interceptor combat.
it
How I learned.
was until they colonized the all of our good hunting grounds, and now that's gone away.
Yeah.
You heard about that last week.
I heard about that.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
Save
I mean,
the
right now,
robots.
if I were to crash my ship, I'd cry. I've got almost 12 billion in exobio data and over a
jeez.
billion in exploration data, on me right now. So, yeah, there's that.
Fleet carrier welcomes you.
Right.
Oh no, I need merits. I haven't done enough power play stuff, so I'm like only level 41 with Yong-Rui, so I need to go back, sell all of this data to get all those merits so I can,
Yep.
get
Yep.
some Concord cannons and stuff.
Yeah, I really need to finish that merit grind as well, because I really do want the Concord cannons, but I keep getting distracted by other things I want to do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like one of those things that it's on my list, but it keeps getting pushed down by other stuff I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I'm level 8.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see
I wonder what
how
level I am. Let me check. I am honestly curious because I haven't looked in a long while. I am your power. No, cancel. Stupid flying piece of. There we are. I am 6.
What? Wow.
I get distracted, okay? The evening is when my meds wear off.
Yeah, but I mean, did you even scan anything when you went exploring? You should have got more than 6 levels just from your
I
distant
haven't turned
cruise
in the
trip.
data yet, to be
Oh,
fair. I
okay.
do
Yeah,
I am sitting on a ton of data. I really should turn that in, but I haven't.
Find a system we're looking to reinforce and go sell that data.
Well, yeah, I'm in Ross right now. I'll do that
Well,
one.
there you go.
Fine, I'll make billions of credits. Jeez.
Yep, I know.
There you go.
Twisting your arm. Good lord, man.
Guys are such a drag. Oh, shoot. If you
What were
heard
we
that
talking about
whine,
before we went down this rabbit hole? Were we
I
actually
don't
on a
even
topic?
remember.
We went down the colonization.
This is the
Yeah, I just
colonization
kind of
update.
jumped in. Oh, this is the Oh yeah, colonization report. Got it. All right. CR.
All right, and moving on to the Galnet update. This will be quick. There was a little update today about something hilarious that's been going on in game for a little bit now, in which Brewer Corporation has dispatched ships to try and help the people who built / are trying to live in the station around a Lantern Light. You know, the one that's like going a bajillion miles an hour around a neutron star.
Okay, that video with his full motion rig trying to
Yeah,
approach that
that's
is
from the community corner. We
amazing.
have a link to that guy. Oh, frick, what was his name? We're bouncing around.
Definitely bring that up for sure. Yes.
Doo-doo-doo, Project SimStar. This dude plays Elite with a full motion rig, and he went to try and get into Lantern Light with his motion rig, and
Hurt
just
himself.
well, not only hurt himself, but the motion rig was just jerking back and forth just from the game trying to simulate the gravity waves of everything flying past him so quickly. It was, oh my gosh, just go watch that video. It's so worth it. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, but that's cool that that made it in as a little lore bit of, oops, we deployed a station into the gravity well of a neutron star. Our bad.
Love it.
It is a beta.
Shoot. And moving on from that, we have dev news. Oh, wait, sorry, not chit chat. Dev news. Then, oh, shoot. Who wants to read through this stuff on the highlights? Because I know I
What are
don't
you
want to read
reading?
the stats of all the systems claimed, because that's just sales talk. It's cool, but it's sales talk. The TLDR of it is a lot of systems have been claimed so far. It's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, you're pulling from the FU the other day. You're talking
Yeah.
about is that Dev
We're
News?
talking about FU.
Yes.
The FU. Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of people have claimed a lot of systems, and there's a whole bunch of stations, and absolutely no shock to anybody that this took place. And half of the systems are, I'm not going to say wonky, but there's a delay in some of these becoming full systems and everything, if I remember
Yeah, it's
correctly.
wonky.
They,
Wonky
Yep.
is the correct word, yes.
they didn't
Yep.
mention that during the FU, of course, but
No, of course not.
yeah. it's a smashing success.
I would like to
Smashing.
know if the number of systems, of all the numbers they threw out there, was that above, below, about what they expected? I would have loved to have heard how this
Yeah.
met their expectations. I also would
Yeah,
have loved to have heard a few comments on at least some of the major bugs out there, but they didn't. Just thank you for your patience. Okay.
Yeah, we're in the era of it'll get a note in a patch at some point, and that's all the fanfare that those fixes will get.
Mm.
well, the only number that matters to me, and they didn't mention this number, is the bump in player numbers that Elite got,
Oh, it's
from
way up.
colonization coming in. Yeah, I mean, Steam charts, isn't, it's not all of the players. Not everybody plays on Steam. I'd say a majority, go through Steam, probably a vast majority. But Steam, we're up, 50% player, February, March over February. I mean, it was 4,500 players, average players in February. It's almost 7,000 for March. So it definitely drew players in. And at the end of the day, I mean, running cargo is time consuming. So players, when they're logging in, might be logging in for a little bit longer, running cargo. I mean, they're probably watching Netflix or Amazon while they're doing it. But I mean, it did boost players, and the more player boosting we have, the more arcs that are going to be sold, the more money they have to make.
Fix
I
the
hate saying
bugs.
make more content. I want them to fix bugs. Right now, for me, that is, do not add another feature until you fix some of the things that are currently just messed up. Just
That's
Amen.
where I come down on it too. And if those fixes come in with the new feature and they are actually fixed, so be it. But I want those to come in as well. You know what I mean?
But I mean, like the PowerPlay things that, where they turned off rare goods, and they, they're
Yeah, turn them
still,
back on.
you get weekly missions that you just can't do. These little
Mhm.
things that were broken, and then, a lot of us were probably expecting those to fix by cycle 5, 10, 20, whatever it might be. And instead of getting those fixed and back in, they put out a new feature with its own set of bugs, and it seems like they just completely forgot PP even existed. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would have preferred that, for selfish reasons, because I'm out in Colonia, but for selfish reasons, I would have preferred Trailblazers to come out in June, and that, if they want to introduce a couple of ships on the way with the quality of life fixes, yeah, clean up the power play, untangle the Gordian knot of
100%.
BGS, and over the first couple of months, and give us, some stuff to look forward to with the Trailblazers, with a little bit of, hey, this is kind of what you can expect, and give us the dribs or drabs and the Frontier Unlocked along the way, like the little carrots, and look at this feature, look at that feature, and because it would be nice to have known, gee, you better put your station in orbit of a planetary surface thing if you want to sell anything other than hydrogen and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like that kind of stuff is kind of, we're going to have so and so on, and he's going to talk about the economics of how this is going to work.
That's funny because I am not sure if in every case that's true. Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Trax hasn't placed a ground port in the cheese fridge system yet, has he?
No, I don't
No, I
believe
don't
so.
think so.
No, he
Okay.
bridged out of there already.
Okay, because that system does have an economy now. And that economy is extraction because the station is in the middle of the dang ring. There's literally no other supporting structures or stations or anything around it. And it did that all on its own. So, like he says, oh, well, putting that helps determine the economy of the station. It might, but I'm not sure if that's the only thing that helps determine an economy of a station. To be
Well, one
completely honest.
random customer service rep at FDev, told somebody that it works a certain way, and it's been taken as gospel at this fact. I don't know if anybody's had any actual confirmation, or this has been thoroughly investigated. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
think if you're an asteroid, by definition, you're going to be an extraction.
I mean, it's an ice cube more than an asteroid, but sure.
You'd
Well, yeah,
think,
you'd
but
think.
then again, like you said, I like, the whole colonization thing. I was shocked how fast they put that out, because normally you get an
Me too.
announcement and then all of a sudden, it's like 6, 8 months out or something. And this was like, holy crap, this is coming out this time. We're going to do it as a beta. What they should have done instead is done one of those things where, it was a couple FUs along where they were showing us what it was about. So then player feedback comes in. They tweak some things before they launch it. We have kind of a general idea of what's happening, and then launched it while they continued to fix other bugs in the game. Would have been my overwhelming preference than them just adding it to the game like they did.
True. I have a thought against that though, just because my brain likes to play devil's advocate. I think the reason it did come out that fast is because they got it to a point where it's like, we can't thoroughly test this enough to find these bugs because there aren't enough of us in the office to do that. We need to give this to the player population at large to see what happens, because we can't find those answers without them.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking bugs. I'm talking the entire basis of the system getting a little player feedback and stuff, because when they decided to put it out, they're like, this is feature complete. All we're going to do is tweak numbers, and we're going to call it a beta. So if we have to reset anything, we warned you, because we're not going to give you your money back, kind of thing.
Right,
is kind of what they did. But, they could have actually had some player feedback, because, there is not a shortage of opinions on how colonization should work. And they nipped that in the bud just by saying, nope, it's feature complete. Here it is. This is what you get. And then they put it out. And they could have bought a little bit of time and had, community feedback and worked this thing forward a little bit differently. Because, I mean, there's definitely, I think that they did a adequate job getting it out there. But once again, it felt super rushed. And I'm trying not to complain, people. I'm trying not to. I'm just saying the way I would have done it, and everybody's got an opinion, like they've got an asshole, mine doesn't stink.
What did you? Yours doesn't think? Is that what you said?
Mine doesn't stink.
Stink.
My opinion or
okay.
asshole.
So I was AFK for a sec to take care of my dog, and I came back to mine doesn't stink.
Exactly. So
moving right along,
Staying with that one. Yep.
they revealed more about the coming new medium ship that they say is an all-rounder, the Gudamaya Corsair.
Hell yeah, baby.
Just like all the others, they're going to have a base version and a stellar version. There is also an option to, air quote, remove the beak, probably with ship kits. I personally like the beak. I think it makes it look aggressive, like a mad flamingo. I'm just saying.
Buzzard.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, it's a medium multi-role ship. According to Zach, it is a next generation ship. It is made to be the successor to the Imperial Clipper and a replacement for a Python, according to Gudamaya. It is the first medium ship that Gudamaya has made. It is also the first medium ship with size 7 thrusters. According to Zach, it feels like it's on rails when you're flying it. Which
Does that
honestly,
mean it can't turn?
No, honestly, the Clipper feels like it's on rails too. Like whatever direction you point it, it doesn't matter what that ship looks like. It's gonna get you that direction. It doesn't care. And I really liked how the Clipper flied, so if this ship flies like the Clipper, I'm gonna be okay with that.
Cutter's like that too.
Yeah. And
Cutter just never stops.
yes, that is the problem. There is no Imperial rank needed for this one. It does have hard points, yes. It has 3 large and 3 medium. And all of those hard points are set up around the cockpit on the
around
hull.
in the fuselage, so you've got like perfect convergence is basically what they said. Yeah.
Love it.
And I cannot wait to make almost good use of all of those hard points with my weird builds.
It should be very easy considering it has a size 7 distro, size 7 power plant, size 7 thruster. So it's going to be fast as fuck. It's going to have plenty of power. It's going to run, should run, relatively cool.
Only a size 5 FSD though to move all of those big modules around.
Oh, who cares?
Who cares?
Okay, fair enough. Carry on.
I mean, it's an all-around, not an explorer ship like the Mandalay. You know, the Mandalay can't do combat either.
No, it can't. You're
Um,
terrible at it. Yeah.
but I mean, this ship, honestly, they should just call things combat or non-combat ships, really, at this point in the game, because you put 3 large and 2 medium hard points and a size 7 distributor, this thing is going to smack ass. And worst
3
case
large and
scenario,
3
it's
medium.
going to be the new super jouster because of how fast this thing's going to be and the convergence of its hard points. I can just imagine, a new frag build, with everything just right
Oh my
front and
god.
center
Mhm.
like that, when you're coming in at, 700.
Nurgle is going to
meters
be
per
so
second.
happy.
Jesus. So yeah, so this ship is, as far as looks, it looks like a yacht to me. It looks like it should be floating on the water and would look right at home there.
To me, it looks like
The ship
a.
that they showed was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's my takes on it.
And what about an
Yep, you cut
Okay, now
out.
you're breaking up, Blooms. What you got again?
anti-Tharg?
Ooh,
It'll
that's
absolutely smack
interesting.
as an anti-Thargoid ship. It
I know.
just really because the
I don't think
convergence
you
for one,
cold
the
orbit.
power distributor
Yeah.
for two. It just
The power
depends on
plant.
how
Yep.
yeah, 7 power plant. You're good. It's the question is going to be, its flight model, how it flies. If it's
Yeah.
easy to get into a cold orbit, which I don't know, any ship you can. I mean, the Krites, you gotta, you do a little boost orbiting to really keep your orbit from deteriorating. But if it flies like a chieftain, I've never even bothered trying. They say it flies like the Clipper. I've never tried the Clipper in AX combat just because I hate the Clipper and the convergence of the weapons. Yeah, good luck shooting Thargoid hearts with that convergence. But this thing should absolutely smack.
So just for the record, I looked up the engineering on EDSY for a size 7A power plant when you brought up Thargoid hunting potentially with a Corsair. And if you did G5 armor with thermal spread on it, on your power plant, it gives you a 12% boost to your power capacity, so 33.6 megawatts. For reference, if you just do G5 overcharge, that gives you a straight up 42 megawatts.
Well, just look at it this way. A lot of people use
Not that big of a difference.
the Krites because of the fact
Mhm.
they've got the 7 power plant and the 7 distributor. That's exactly what this thing has. So if you
Mhm.
can do that, and this has the same exact hard points as the Mark II. So, it can do everything, except this sounds like it's probably going to have even better convergence, and it's going to be faster. So, yeah.
I have to say, I absolutely adore how it looks. I think it looks like a Klingon bird of prey and a billion-dollar yacht had a baby, and that's the ship that came out. And I'm okay with that. I think it looks fantastic, and I cannot wait. This is a buy on day one ship for me, like the T8 was,
To me, it looks
100%.
like the Vulture from Looney Tunes back in the day, is what the
The
B looks
Vulture
like.
That's who I was thinking of.
It can be both.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh shoot!
All depends on the paint job you put on it. Pink paint job, it's a flamingo. Rainbow paint job, you're a toucan.
They got to
I don't know.
make a black and yellow so it
Okay.
could be like that buzzard.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's take a poll. Who's spending arcs on it?
Me.
Me.
I am as well. What are you gonna do, Chig?
I don't know. I don't even have the Mark V yet, or the new Cobra. I don't even have that yet because
Would recommend. It's a lot of fun.
I've been out in the black since it launched, so spending arcs to get it would be dumb. So if and when I get back to the bubble, if it's still only available for arcs, I might buy. I'll buy the Cobra probably before this. Oh yeah, who are we kidding? I'll buy both if I'm back in the bubble and looking to do some combat.
Of
There
course
it
you
is.
will.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh shoot! So
Any
here's a
thoughts
question
from
I have
Oblivious or
about the.
Blooming Wind on this, other than what we've already talked about?
Yeah, I actually have a question about the Corsair for you guys.
Sure.
Do you think, because it is an Imperial ship after all, do you think it is going to be more of a shield-focused ship or more armor-focused like the Clipper? Because they do say that, hey, you can replace your Python Classic or your Clipper with this ship. So
Did
that
they
makes
say
me lean armor.
did they say
It's
anything about utility slots? Because again, it's like it seems like they didn't say anything about utility slots.
they didn't.
They
Yeah,
did
they
not.
always
Man,
forget to
nope.
mention utility slots.
That
As far
Okay,
determines
they
as
it.
forget to put them on too. I'm looking at you, Asp Scout.
the only questions you should have on something, whether something's an armor ship or a shield ship, is whether you're fighting Thargoids or you're fighting, human NPCs. If you're fighting human NPCs, you should always be shield, and if you're fighting bugs, you should always be shieldless. I know you disagree, but you're wrong.
Me. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
I
I
love your
just started
T10
doing
build.
that and I couldn't stop.
That was rather disturbing.
Lark put a nice T10 build where he built basically his version of Battlestar Galactica without shields, obviously, because it's Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, of course.
But he built it, and yeah, it's a fun. I won't go as far as calling it a meme ship.
I
But
think it's a fun idea. I just don't know if I'd ever try it because holy cow, do you have to commit to putting all that armor on for it to work? You know what I mean?
I do.
It's a
I'll
lot of
post
core
my
composite.
T10, my all pack hound type 10. That thing has a ton of freaking shields, but also has a ton of armor. So that thing is just super hard to kill. It took Ty and Trax one night, a lot of firepower from 2 Corvettes to kill me one
Nice.
night. So, but it's got enough internals. If it's a combat ship, the problem is you build a combat ship and you still have multiple SRVs and you still want to do
Yeah.
everything with it. If you're building a ship to kill other ships and you want to survive as long as possible, get rid of that other stuff. Go kill with that ship, and then go grab your ship to do your other stuff. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, my
And see,
Corvette
and
is
part
the
of me
best of
knows
both
you're right.
worlds.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know,
I'm trying to do. Part of me knows you're right, but like literally the idea of taking my SRV base out when I know there might come a time while using that I'll need to land and get out either in an SRV or whatever. It's just literally making my brain itch right now. I'm not even joking.
Wow.
I am such a weirdo and I love that.
Well, I know you were hunting Thargoids with the SRV in your ship just in case you needed to go land and scan a random plant all of a sudden. I never understood that.
No, it's to shoot at them from the ground. Duh.
Good Lord.
I've also
Lark-
done that on foot, but then Audaxius or Volt ran into me
Lark,
on purpose. I don't
Lark,
remember which one it was.
Lark, you're gonna put clean drives on your Corsair, aren't you?
Probably.
Oh my God.
okay, he wants to prevent
Lark.
galactic warming.
See, I am out here flying responsibly, and
Trying
For
to
some
prevent
reason you
the
like to
heat
move
death of
slow.
the universe. Yes. Okay. Great.
Yeah,
I mean, you
indeed.
can't deny I have fun. I'm just saying,
Stop having fun. Stop enjoying yourself when you play.
never.
Meta or die.
Better or die.
Some people just want to watch the galaxy burn.
Hmm.
I don't want to watch the galaxy burn. I want to watch the galaxy get weird like I am. Is that too much to ask?
Lord
It's
help
getting
us
there.
all.
If everybody got weird like you are, then no one would be weird. They'd all be the same.
Okay, I don't want that anymore.
There you go.
Damn you and your
Hallelujah.
wisdom.
Then you'd have to become normal.
Oh, the worst.
What if
All
he
right, anyway.
is the normal and we're all the weird ones?
Lord help us.
Abby normal.
That'd be
All
normal.
right. Well, I think that basically was the discussion and dev news all in one. I'm just
I think
saying.
so.
So moving on to the community corner. If you we mentioned it earlier, but the YouTuber Project SimStar, who has a full motion rig that he uses with Elite, has a video out where he is visiting Lantern Light with that motion rig active. The funniest part isn't when he's trying to get in. Spoiler alert, he blows up just like everyone else after getting yeeted several light seconds away. But the best part is basically when he's trying to get out, because that's really when that motion rig just does not know what to do with itself. I feel bad for the guy. He literally pulled a muscle because of it.
Well, I'm pretty sure as he was approaching it, and it was kind of the gravity waves are kind of hit him, and it was pulsing. I think at one point he's like, "It's almost kind of sexual," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to keep watching this."
Exactly. What have I
Yeah,
tuned into?
he's a funny guy. I like him. Anyways, and Bloomington posted a picture of the freaking vulture from Looney Tunes. Yeah, I see it. And there it is, right there.
Beaky. Yep.
Beaky.
Yep.
That's what I saw when they first showed that ship, that first mock-up of it. That is what popped in my head instantly.
That's freaking hilarious, and I love that. Also in community news, Alec Turner is putting on a new buckyball race. The time and motion study, it should be kicking off tomorrow, and it runs until April 7th. He has a YouTube video of the race course, which we have in our show notes. You can also get that from the Buckyballs Discord. So if you want to
that's the one that goes through the like 17 rings and 22
Yes.
460.
Yes.
That's awesome. I might actually go do that race. I don't know if I'll submit a time, but I love when they put out cool race courses. I usually go do a couple runs for my own benefit.
Yeah, I've never been able to get in a time that would mean anything towards like the times that I see on their leaderboard. So I've never submitted anything, but holy cow, those guys are crazy in the best way. I love those guys.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Honestly, if you want to find, a fun activity, get in the Buckyball Racer Discord. They put on some cool races. They're always a little bit different. We've got, Boobtron, Indigo. What do we go with for his name? I don't remember. I always call
I
him
call him
Boob.
Indigo, you call him Boobtron, he responds to
I
both.
call him
So.
Boob is what I always call him. But
Yeah.
Boob has done a lot of their races, and he actually designed one of their races one time, didn't he? Or did
Yeah.
a whole planning for it. So
Yeah.
he's we've and Alex is pretty active in our Discord too. He pops in and says enough that he's a loose screw whether he likes it or not.
He's an honorary screw, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah. So yeah. No, definitely go do that. It's fun.
100%. And the last thing in the community quarter is we have a special announcement from Commander Roy Cookson, our very own writer. And the announcement is that... Hold on. Hey everyone, this is a special announcement for all you readers, explorers, and storytellers who have been following Roy's stories, Distance Cruise 3 edition. Commander Cookson wants you to know that the final 3 episodes are written. This is wild, emotional, mysterious journey across the stars, crafted alongside the Distance Cruise 3 expedition, is reaching its finale next week. And Roy wants to thank every single one of you for your support and kind words, especially the commanders who let him include them and who collaborated on the story. Wow, dyslexia kicked in hard there. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
You've made this more than fiction. You've made it something we've created together. Here's how the final episodes will drop. Episode 18, Monday, March 31st at 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Episode 19, Tuesday, April 1st at 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And the finale, episode 20, will drop Wednesday, April 2nd at 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And here's the part you don't want to miss. There will be a voiceover chat party Wednesday night, April 2nd, following the final episode drop. So if you've been reading along, if you've been featured in a story, or if you just want to hang out and celebrate a unique piece of community storytelling, mark your calendar. I'll mark all your calendars because I'm going to make an event right after this for that.
You're a calendar mark.
I'll mark your... Shut up. Damn it, that got me. Come and raise a glass, trade theories, and toast to our shared journey on Roy's Stories DS3 edition.
Okay, let me comment real quick. Was that the end of that announcement?
That is the end of that.
Okay. Was that? Where did you read that from?
That's
notes.
down there. That was a DM that Roy sent me
Oh,
to
okay.
include in
Okay.
the thing.
Okay.
And I
Well,
am going to add that to the event that I'm making in Discord.
I'm just gonna say it was top notch fiction. This could easily,
Yes.
professional quality. Anybody want to just read a cool story in the Elite Dangerous universe? I highly suggest coming to our Discord and reading Roy's stories. It has its own thread in our Distant Screws 3 thread,
Channel.
whatever channel. There we go.
There you go. You're doing great.
And honestly, it is absolutely top notch, and I think he should share it with a lot more people than just our little community because it's definitely that good.
100%.
And I also want to say a couple things about Roy. Me and him in Discord the other night arguing about Severance. I don't know how many people have you guys watched Severance yet?
I haven't yet. It's on my list.
Okay,
It's on mine too.
I have some rather unpopular opinions of the show, but me and Roy discussed that one quite extensively, and I'm just going to say he's wrong, but we did birth the greatest movie concept idea ever during our conversation. The show is very strange. Decided that they need to make a show right now that's Christopher Walken, John Malkovich, and yep, go on. And Nicolas Cage in a buddy movie, I think would be the thing that would break the entire, universe if that movie
Shut up and
came
take
out.
my money.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm in.
So I say they make a buddy movie with those three, and it'll be the strangest, most glorious thing ever made. And
What is it? A remake of Grumpy Old Men? Is that?
well, grumpy, strange old men,
Now hear
bizarro
me
old
out.
men. Yes.
Add
Hear you out.
Adrian Brody to the list. Put
Adrian
him in a
Brody's not weird enough
supporting
to
role.
compete with those guys. Yes, he can definitely be like a gas station attendant they bump into on this weird Thelma and Louise journey they're on. Thelma and Louise and Bob. So yeah, no, there's that. And I've got a show recommendation that I think people should go watch because we're all nerds. It popped up on my feed on Prime. There's this series called Secret Level. Have you guys seen this?
Not yet.
I have seen the Space Marine part of that show, and I really want to see the rest of the show now.
Yeah,
So,
well,
yes, you
it's
have
a
my
series.
attention.
Sex, Love, and Robots, if people are familiar with that, or
Yeah,
Black
that's good.
Mirror, or any of these,
It's like those,
anthology
yeah.
shows that are out there, that are each one is completely separate. They're only 14 minutes long each, and every one is based off of a video game. So it's New World, Warhammer 40,000. There's each
Pac-Man.
episode. Pac-Man is one, Mega Man is one. They are. I started watching one and I ended up watching all 15 episodes just back to back to back to back to back to back. It's super good. It's super nerd gold for video game nerds, sci-fi nerds, any type of nerd. They did an absolute outstanding job with it, and I recommend it to anybody. Just throwing that out there.
Would also recommend. I really, really enjoyed the Warhammer 40,000 one.
Oh, it's so good.
It was such a love letter to the Space Marine and Space Marine 2 games, and just so bad arse in the best way possible. I just
Yeah,
go on.
everything about it. Yes, and that's just it. I can imagine if you're a fan of one of those games specifically, I could see people going, like the Warhammer one. I don't know anything about the lore of Warhammer, anything like that, but I could see like somebody being like, their armor wouldn't have that emblem on it, that kind of stuff. That, your hardcore nerd fans might get upset about some stuff, but I don't care. It's super good. I loved it, especially the ones that I didn't know jack all about the games that they were about. I kind of want to go play those games now. So. The first one is Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, the episode 1 is a Dungeons and Dragons one that is
did they do like Baldur's Gate kind
well
of
done.
peel off?
No. This is it's you just have to watch it. I don't know what story this would be from. You recognize one character for sure. You can guess what some of the things are in it. But it was that you watch the first episode and you'll be hooked.
Nice.
Right.
Secret Level.
All right. Well, do any of y'all have anything else? Because my dogs need out.
No. Once again, we find out who let the dogs out. Great. All right.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna have them pee in the house. I'm just saying.
I don't know. That seems like a lark thing that you would do because that's off the meta. You let your dogs in to pee. But that's all I got. I talked more than I thought I would tonight.
Oh, F you, I hate that I laughed at that so much. So, for Commander Bloomingwind, Commander Chig, Commander Oblivious, and myself, Commander Larkshadow, this has been the Loose Screws Podcast. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye, dogs.